Oh, look at poor little Spider-Man, twitching in pain like the bug you are. See where your nobility got you? So pathetic. What a shame, always clinging to your precious sense of duty. Always refusing to do what you know must be done. But you can only bend without breaking for so long before you snap.
Spider-Man has had some very messed up, sadistic, and downright terrifying villains throughout his comic history. But none of them compare to his most terrifying villain ever. The Wall! That's right, baby. The Wall. Spider-Man's most iconic villain ever. Practically is like arch nemesis. Okay, I admit. I'm sorry to those 3 Wall fans out there, but it's not The Wall. It's none other than the man himself, Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. The way Norman becomes the Goblin is when he does a test on himself with an experimental serum that was supposed to give him superhuman strength and enhanced intellect, which it did, but it also blew up in his face, causing him to be hospitalized for weeks and slowly go insane, giving birth to the Green Goblin. But the Goblin has always been there in Norman's life. It developed early in his childhood, most likely thanks to his abusive father, which Norman got a lot of traits from during his relationship with Emily Osborn. She got so bad, she faked her death, leaving a newborn Harry Osborn without a mother. Years later, after he accumulated all the wealth he's known for, he decides that he wants to take a crack at joining the villain and hero game that's blowing up recently in New York. All his schemes that he was pulling the strings behind up in his ivory tower would eventually lead to him coming across Spider-Man in his Goblin persona, which is insane because Harry Osborn and Peter Parker are childhood best friends. It breaks Peter's and Harry's heart when they find out who Norman actually is, which makes it worse because with Norman's intellect, he easily figured out that Peter was Spider-Man, which made the fact that he truly despises Spider-Man even worse for Peter because now he knows his personal identity. Now on to the most terrible things Green Goblin has done, starting with the death of Gwen Stacy. Okay, I know I'm fucked up for this, but like, come on, I had to. It all happens when Norman Osborn kidnaps Gwen Stacy because he knows that she is Spider-Man's girlfriend. Thus, he takes her to the top of the Brooklyn Bridge and threatens to throw her off, and does so, causing Peter to shoot webs at her to save her. But the whiplash ultimately snaps her neck, killing her, which is truly tragic, since Gwen Stacy was Peter's first girlfriend and first love of his life, causing the rivalry between Green Goblin and Spider-Man to grow ever more fearsome. The next terrible thing Norman ever did was hit on May. Come on, how could you hit on May? She's like such a sweet old lady, and like it's just messed up. It's just he hit an old woman with full force, knocking her out. This obviously would like make Peter furious and make them hate each other even more. Now this next horrific act committed by Norman Osborn is truly heartbreaking. It occurred when Mary Jane was giving birth to her and Peter's kid. Norman wasn't just gonna let that happen, so he planted an evil nurse to make sure that the baby does not survive the birth. It's truly like, that is heartbreaking. That is really messed up. I get that he hates Spider-Man and Peter, but to go that far to make sure that their child dies in birth is truly just vile. Now, this next terrible thing that Norman has done is truly vile indeed, just like causing the death of Peter's child. And that moment is when he convinced Gwen Stacy to have sex with him. This is after the death of her father, George Stacy, who is a police officer. And she was in a vulnerable moment, and so was Norman after the overdose of Harry Osborn. So they hook up. Thankfully, due to fan outrage and just basic like public opinion, it was retconned a little bit later. This is great because, I mean, yeah, it does make Norman even worse of a person and a terrible, vile villain, but it ruins Gwen Stacy, making her a cheater and disloyal to Peter when she genuinely loved Peter a lot, just like he loved her. forever solidifying Gwen Stacy as an amazing person and Spider-Man's first true love. And those are just some of the Green Goblin's, Norman Osborn's most vile, disgusting, terrible, truly villainous, monstrous moments, forever making Green Goblin Spider-Man's true arch nemesis and most terrifying and vile villain ever.